Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we will share with you some of the lessons that we've learned over the past 5 years running a small online business. And we will also share with you some of the mistakes that have cost us, unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you do have just like 5-10 minutes, do stick around because some of the mistakes, you definitely want to prevent them. What we're going to share with you, hopefully, it will save you years of work. And we will also be sharing things that actually worked well for us. So for those of you guys who are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, give us a little bit of love, do comment below. We would love to hear from you. So let's get right into it, guys.
Yes.
We are the Traffic Ninjas. This is Kristen.
Hello.
I am Silvia. We are Kristen and Silvia Myers. We are husband and wife running an online business, helping e-commerce stores get high quality traffic and turn into sales. We always talk about untapped strategies, but today we are really reflecting on the past 5 years. So one of the biggest lessons, Kristen, over the last 5 years, running a small business, what is one of the things for you?
Small business, or is it just a business?
Let's call it business.
Okay.
I guess anything under 10 mil a year, I think it
depends on the definition, yeah. We're a small business, but we like to think of it as a business. That's
true, because let's not let our small business make us small-minded, I guess. Yeah,
yes.
That's true.
Thank you, Brendan Michaud.
That's true.
Great. So what was the question again? The question was?
What's one of the biggest things when you reflect on the last 5 years?
Yeah, I think 5 years ago, I thought that we would be a lot further along than where we actually are. So I think there's this thing like Tony Robbins talks about, we often overestimate what we can do in a short amount of time, but underestimate what we can do in a longer period of time. Let's say 10 years, right? Or 5 years. 5 years, you can get a lot done, but in 1 year, not so much, right? So
That's true. And I also see it with our annual goals and quarterly goals. We do tend to overestimate quite a bit what we can get done.
Yes.
But then sometimes underestimate ourselves and our impact at the same time, right? Because sometimes we underestimate as business owners how much impact you can make in the world and how you can essentially create the lifestyle you want to live.
And it's the gradual stuff too. So like when you're building a business, like you're kind of building bricks or steps.
That's
and you
true.
kind of like build on each other, and like it seems slow at first, but what's the expression? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first steps. And if you keep taking those steps forward, it does really build and it does compound over time.
That's true. And so on reflection, like first 18 months, guys, and this is write it down in my opinion, like first 18 months, guys, it was terrible for us. Like business was really, really bad. But, looking back, there were signs why it was really bad, wasn't it? So like from your point of view, what do you think, Kristen, was one of the things why the first 18 months really sucked for us?
I think one of the reasons was that we both came out of corporate careers.
Yeah.
And then came into
we were
running
corporate
a small...
hotshots. We thought like we knew it all. Corporate consultants. We were earning great salaries and working in upper middle management.
Senior people, upper middle management in the companies that we were working for.
And we thought like, we've got this.
We're consultants. This small business thing's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
It's easy. I think one of the biggest mistakes was really having no clue, like on reflection, having no clue who our customers were.
That's true.
Who we wanted our customers to be. We kind of thought that they were anyone and everyone.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what we realized also in a small business that essentially, and we see the same now with our customers.
Yes.
That if you are in a small business and you have no idea of who your customer is and you are like, oh, I'm just going to be the next Nike or whatever, the next Coca-Cola.
People think that they know who the customer is.
Yeah, but the thing is that to be able to cut through in this kind of competitive world, you've got to have an edge. And that edge starts in building a really, really tight niche, right? Because that tight niche, I mean, people even say that, so many mentors say that, like the riches are the niches, right?
Yes. Or carve a niche so tight that only you fit in it, right?
Yeah, that's true. One of our mentors says that. Yeah. And looking back, that was really one of the big problems, because if you do not know who that ideal customer is or what your niche is, it's really difficult to make a product for them and then position that product as well, right?
It reminds me of one of our first products that we ever created, the Success Club.
Oh.
Do you remember the Success Club?
Guys, the Success Club was there was failure beyond imagination.
There was a consulting program for anyone and everyone who wanted to be successful. So, the niche or the niche there was not so
Yeah, we couldn't give it away for free. That's how bad it was.
So that was many years ago now, but powerful learnings.
That was that one was like 7 years ago. That was even pre the 5 years.
Yeah.
So, but like on my reflection, I'm also like reflecting on the activities
Yes.
we used to be doing in our business, and they were completely different back then when
That's true.
things didn't work, and then when things really did work, we were focusing on completely different activities in our business. So could you like talk us through that?
Yeah, I think when I reflect back all those years ago when we were busy, like we've always been busy. That's the thing, being in a small business or a business, there's always busy work to be done.
And it's so fancy to say, oh, I'm wearing different hats and I've got this giant to-do list. Like all of us like to say that.
Yeah, but I think back now, like I think that we were working on marketing, but on looking back, really we weren't working on marketing. We're working on product development or creating products or designing things or making the website beautiful, but we weren't doing the things that were actually going to bring in the revenue.
That were actually going to move the needle. That's totally true.
Like perfecting the website, like the About Us page. We're a team of consultants and we do, I'm just making it up, but like perfecting the website's not going to bring in the sales. Like,
and then like pretty videos, we were putting so much more value on these promotional videos where we hired a filmographer or whatever, and he would like do this video and we paid him like $2,000.
It was a branding
the
video.
Branding stuff, all of the branding BS that
there is a place for
we
it. We
believed we needed, but really as a small business owner, that is not what's gonna like get you rolling with the cash that you need right now.
Cash flow is king, right?
Cash flow is king. And the thing is like, how many hours did I spend on bloody networking? Like networking and printing business cards and then giving people the business cards. Like honestly,
chasing business really, like one-on-one.
And I ended up having a coffee with anyone and just about everyone in Sydney. And honestly, we've seen this pattern with so many of our customers. Like by the point they come to us, they're desperate because they're like, oh my God, I printed the business cards and I went to this,
the
markets,
the flyers.
And I given the flyers and then I did this and then I did that and then I organized a workshop and it's like, no. Like when you're in e-commerce and you are selling products online, like save your time. Don't print any business cards. Don't go networking. Like the answers are online. The people you're looking for, they are all online.
And that was the same for our business too.
So same for our business. But then we caught up in another thing, right? Because once we understood that and we finally got the ball rolling, we're like, okay, essentially the secret is, and maybe this is also something you kind of want to be mindful of when you like looking at your statistics, what we realized was that really it's 80% of your time needs to be spent on marketing. 80%. Like we always thought it's 80% on like the product development and, customer service and all of these things. But no, guys, like it's 80% on product on marketing. Like how are you going to get traffic to your store and convert it to sales? Like that's what matters, you know?
We learn real fast in our business that if there's no sales coming in, if there's no marketing, if there's no, like, let's call it lead flow or prospect flow or customer flow.
If
traffic. If that's not happening, then there is no business.
That there is no business. And, just like so many of our customers, we also used to think like, oh, we've got traffic, but we've got no sales. Like, we've got all of these visitors coming to our website, but we've got no sales. But really, like, if you start thinking about what an average conversion rate is, it's really 1% to 2%.
Yes.
So you need at least 100 of the right visitors to your store every single day to at least make one sale. And that for us, like once we understood that, it was like
I think as well there was a powerful learning. Like we were running traffic from all over the world and some lower cost markets as well. I remember at one point we had all of this traffic coming from I think India or that part of the world, and like, wow, we've got so much traffic coming.
And if you're from India, no hard feelings.
Yeah.
But it's just that purchasing parity is different
for the products that we were selling,
in Western markets and developing countries.
Yeah. That traffic was very unlikely to convert. So it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about the traffic. It's about, as you said, the high quality right traffic that's perfect for your brand, for your store, for the types of offers, products that you have.
And so once we finally switched that mindset and we started to do 80% on marketing and, getting the traffic and converting the traffic to sales, for a while, suddenly our business suddenly took off, and we thought we figured it out, didn't we?
Yes.
We were like, oh my God, we figured it out. We know how to drive traffic, and we were driving thousands of dollars of traffic from Facebook and Instagram. So much so that we were spending $10,000 to $50,000 per month on driving traffic from Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, for our small business.
Yeah. And honestly, that is a lot of money. Even if you think now that, I'm just starting out and you are ahead, that's not that much money. But no, that was a lot of money for us. And we were running on this, I guess, a thin ice to make sure that we then convert that and get the customers to come back. But then we crashed big time, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads to the next point of one of the things that we've learned is that we thought that we had a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
I felt like that we had a marketing strategy. All right,
We
so
thought we had a marketing
we're
strategy.
running
That's true.
some ads here on social media. We
Yeah.
run the ads in a certain way. We set up the ad set the right way, the campaign the right way, the right type of creative. So, all that stuff that we teach.
all that we teach and used to teach. So and if you're if you're still looking for that information, we've got plenty of that on our channel. You can just go and have a look. All the information is in there. But the big realization
the realization was that I thought that we had a strategy, but really what we were doing there was like tactical stuff.
Tactical stuff. And what we mean by that is that essentially the big point when we really, really crashed was when essentially all of the algorithms changed. And then we started to look back in history and we realized like, hang on a minute, this is not the first time that the algorithms changed.
Yeah.
And guys, it's definitely not the last time that the algorithms will change.
Yeah.
And that's when we realized...
Not just on one platform, like on
all of the platforms.
Yeah.
And that's when we realized like, oh my God, okay, we had these tactics of, having figured out how to get traffic from Facebook and Instagram fast and how to make it profitable. But that really was a tactic. And, what we realized was that you're still at the mercy of that platform, no matter how many followers you are.
Yes.
When that algorithm changes, you really are at a mercy. You're at a mercy of that channel, really. And so what you're doing is you are still just borrowing. You're borrowing the traffic, or you are borrowing the space to essentially run your show, right?
Yeah, paying to play, or even if you're not paying with money, if you're going for organic approach, you're still paying in terms of like the effort that you're putting in, right? So
the same, like, later on we got out of that and we learned how to essentially adapt to the algorithm, and then we stumbled upon the micro-organic traffic that we teach as well, which is essentially getting hot traffic from Google, full of buyers who are ready to buy. But the thing is that whilst that still is working really well as of today and works really well for our customers in terms of organic traffic and getting those e-commerce sales, we need to be mindful of the fact that it is still a tactic. It is still a tactic, and strategy is something so much bigger than we...
That was my next question. Like, how do we know if we're in a tactic or a strategy? What's the difference? What do we think the difference is between a tactic and a strategy?
So from my point of view, where I stand, like, I think strategy is essentially something that does not change over time, like just that nilly-willy, 1, 2, 3 algorithm change, which essentially can happen with all the platforms at any time. But strategy is more like a business model.
Yes.
Yeah, and it took us a while before we came up with the business model.
Yeah. So like is one example, because I struggle with this still to this day sometimes. Like I think I'm working on a strategy, but then I realize, it's a little bit tactical because, a few things change and boop, that thing's out the window. Like, so I've been thinking about it, and tell me, what do you think? Like strategy is more, as you said, like a framework or a plan. Like you could draw it on a whiteboard with some boxes and shapes.
Yes.
For example, we want to have traffic coming from multiple sources.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a strategy.
Yeah.
As opposed to like tactics is like, one specific thing. It's about the settings. It's about the type of thing within that channel, within that platform.
Yeah, exactly. Like strategy are very much, it's a business model or a plan that does not change. And that plan gives you steps of how to make money. And, over the years, we've come up with our own plan. If you do want that, just comment below. We'll search you out with a free one.
Our business model.
Our business model.
E-commerce business model.
Yeah, you can get it for free. Just comment below. But essentially, you've got to focus on things that do not change over time, right? So the tactics do change. The tactics of how am I going to drive traffic? Where do I click? That changes. But things that don't change is that we need to understand who the customer is and ways how to do that. And also that the customer essentially needs to be presented with an irresistible offer.
Yes.
Or what we also call with a 6-figure parcel offer, right? Because the thing is, often we think like, what is an offer? Let me just discount, let me do all of this,
free shipping.
or free shipping or 3 for 2. But that is not really an offer. That is just blatant discounting. And, nobody wants cheap. People want value. And the reason why we call it a 6-figure offer is because often where we see businesses struggle, and we struggle with this in the past too, is that they create an offer and they get somewhat success, and then they create a new one and a new one and a new one. But if you're forever going to be creating new products, new offers, new t-shirts, new collections, it's going to be really, really tough to make money. So what we want to do instead is have an offer where we can make at least 6 figures with that one offer before we start like getting into the next offer. So those are the things that don't change, like having a customer at putting in a viable offer in front of them.
Yeah, and related to that, we won't go into it here now today, but like there's the math side of it as well, right?
Exactly.
Like you need to be able to get those customers in and then fulfill the product and make a profit, right? So there's math that goes in there to
That's true.
how to make it viable to generate not just the revenue, but
to generate money. And that does not change because obviously it's formulas, right?
Yeah.
So again, like if you guys, are at that point that you perhaps have been tapping into some tactics, but you haven't been tapping into any strategies, just let us know, comment below and we'll sort you out. And the other thing is that, on top of that, like comes that strategy of that traffic, right? So we talked about the tactics and we were caught up with the tactics. But the strategy also, when you like look at the bigger picture and what traffic is and get to understand that.
Yeah, you mean it's not just numbers on the screen?
It's not just numbers on the screen. And when you get to understand that literally over the decades of marketing, since marketing existed, we really only had 3 types of traffic, 3 types of ways of getting customers to your store, whether it's been a physical store or whether it's been an online store later on. It's really only 3 types. The first one is what we call interruption marketing. Interruption marketing first started with essentially the radio networks, right? Like you had a radio, you had a show, and then suddenly, there's an ad for something, right? That's one-on-one interruption marketing.
And then obviously made really famous by television, right?
Made famous by television and adapted in the same way by social media. That's essentially what it is, right?
Watching
like you scroll your feed.
Watching the thing you really want to watch, your favorite show, movie, and then we'll be back.
Yeah, buy Coca-Cola,
Yeah. We'll be back after the break, yeah.
Or like this, I don't know, device for the kitchen is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like how many things even our parents have bought online, right? Not online, like through the television channels, right?
Yeah.
Like when we were like helping your parents clean the house, there were like some gym equipment and, the VHS cassettes that were never open.
The classic things
with from the 80s with the the skinny tops.
The classic 80s, 90s infomercials. Yeah. So that's interruption marketing. The other one is when people are searching for stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. So think about back to like Yellow Pages. Our viewers are typically old enough to remember Yellow Pages.
Yeah, there's also the White Pages.
There were the White Pages.
What was the difference between yellow and white? Your white was like you're looking for the name of someone.
Yeah.
And yellow was you're just browsing for a mechanic.
But that was in Australia, Yellow and White Pages. I don't think somewhere else it was called the same. Like somewhere else you had the Yellow Pages and the White Pages was the phone book.
Okay.
But anyway, so the whole idea was that, you need a plumber and you need the plumber now and you're going to just like search through where you're going to find the plumber. And then on top of the page in Yellow Pages, you could like boost the listing and you had like a picture or something or a bigger listing.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what search marketing is still today, right?
Yeah.
We've got like Google, we've got Pinterest, we've got Bing, all of these different search engines.
Yep.
And it's the same concept, you need something, you need an answer to something and you go to Google and you type it all in.
Yeah. So it's interesting, so like the interruption and search, just as an example, like if I need a plumber, if I'm just watching my favorite show and then suddenly an ad for a plumber comes on, it might not be that relevant, right? Like sure, maybe it prompts me to get my drains fixed or something. But if I've got a burst pipe, an emergency, and I'm going to Google and type in, I need a plumber now, like
in
that's
this
kind
area.
of like a different level. We call it intent, right? It's a different level of intent.
Of commitment.
Of who's going to take action, right? So it's one of the reasons why the micro-organic traffic is so powerful.
Well, one of the reasons why it works really, really well for e-commerce businesses. And also one of the reasons why it works really fast, because the whole idea is to find that untapped market where essentially you don't have big businesses playing in. Because I guess that's one of our big things in the Traffic Ninjas, right? Looking at things where big business doesn't play. Because we believe that for us small business owners, like everything is so much harder, right? Because we've got limited resources, we've got to feed ourselves, our families, the steady paycheck that we were used to in our jobs is no longer coming, and we don't have like an army of social media managers who are just gonna do these things all day long. So
advertising department, marketing department, legal department.
Legal department. So yes. You are looking at the departments.
I don't have my hats here, but I have many hats. Yeah.
We should have like a hat, I had legal talks to HR and the vice versa.
Yeah.
And so that is really important to always go for something untapped. I guess that's one of the things that we also learned that, because we had a corporate background and we were coming from all of these big corporations, my previous career was actually in digital marketing and in management consulting. And so being used to all of these big corporations, we thought we were going to run our small business in the same way, but that just like didn't compute, didn't work that way, right?
And
so you've got to go for the untapped sources.
Yeah, just to close the loop though, we said there's 3 types of traffic sources.
Yes, there
so
is
we
3
talked about
types
interruption, search, and the third one?
And the third one is what we call referral traffic. And so the referral traffic is extremely powerful because, you know, in the past for like physical shops, it used to be called word of mouth, you know, or you used to like leave the flyer at somebody else's store that you are opening a cafe next door.
Get a free coffee at launch for our new coffee shop opening.
Yeah. But in digital marketing, there is also this powerful concept that Russell Brunson talks about a lot, and it's called the Dream 100. And it's essentially looking up those businesses that already have your dream customer, and essentially, working your way in, creating those relationships so that you essentially can cross promote each other. And that's extremely powerful once there is synergy between those 2 businesses. But again, we won't go into too much detail about that here. If that's something you want to hear more of, obviously comment below.
Let us know and we can talk about it.
Do let us know. We can tell you a bit more next time. So so that essentially brings us back to the business model. So what we essentially learned, and we've put together eventually into a business model that focuses more on the strategy rather than tactics, because the strategy is the thing that's going to help your business grow long term and really make money, be profitable over the long term. So what we essentially learned in a business model is that there's kind of these 6 steps, right? Like first, it's that customer, like who is your customer? Second, you've got to put that irresistible offer in front of them, or the 6-figure parcel. And then after that, step number 3 is those shopping mechanics. And this is essentially a simple step that way too many people do at the beginning typically and put way too much time.
Because it's a tactical one.
Because it's a tactical one. And, we burnt ourselves big time. So much so, guys, that first 18 months, I did not get paid for 18 months. That was painful.
So what do you mean by mechanics, shopping mechanics? We're talking about...
So we're talking about the process of how to make it really easy for your customer to add products to cart and really check out.
But why do people get hung up on it? They get hung up on it because it's shiny objects. It's
because people don't know what else to do, and they think that this is going to be the easy part. And let me just download the apps, and
the apps will solve all the problems.
Yeah, the apps are really good at selling you that this is the thing.
Yeah.
And for some of you guys who are in dropshipping, that's kind of like the dropshipping world where you've got some bros like telling you, hey, find a trending product, and then you put this app and this app and this better, and let's roll the money. But in reality, if you really want to build a brand and serve a customer, it doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
So that's the shopping mechanics. Then we obviously have the traffic, need to understand how to drive the traffic, and need to understand what is borrowed traffic and what is owned traffic. We didn't touch up so much on the owned traffic here, but we can do that
in a future episode.
Next time. Just to let us know. The big thing about the owned traffic is that all of that traffic you're going to be driving to your store, you've got to turn it into your own traffic so that nobody can ever take it away from you.
Because if you get shut down on, let's pick a platform, your favorite platform, they shut you down, then what happens to your traffic?
Exactly.
It's the problem, right?
The traffic can disappear from one day to another, which we had experienced both on social media platforms and in Google, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so
I think every entrepreneur that's been around for a while has experienced one of those types of things. And, I'm sure you even know someone who's been shut down on a social platform. They've been shut down for no reason, or you don't understand why, or they won't ever explain to you why it's been shut down. We've experienced that. Many of our customers, members.
And often you don't know what the reasons are.
And
often nobody told you.
Yeah.
So what is really important is to essentially nurture and build your email list. We're not going to go further into that here, but that email list is literally your own traffic. You own that. You own that. Nobody can take it away from you. There is fluctuation in every single business that we've seen. And that email list, the more sturdy, the bigger it is, it's going to carry you through.
Yeah, there's money in the list. Yeah.
There is so much money.
And then to close out the business model, we've got the last stage, which is the math part of it, which we talked about a little bit already. But how do you make sure each bit of that puzzle or that framework
is essentially it's fine-tuning, right?
Yeah.
Because often people want to scale way too fast. They're like making 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month, and it's like, okay, let's scale this, baby. Let's scale. Yeah.
But you can't really scale, in my opinion, until you're profitable.
Until you're profitable, and until all of those pieces of the puzzle are working really, really well, and there is enough fat or margin in the game for you to be getting paid. Because the amount of times we've seen that people just start throwing money on this thing that doesn't work, thinking that all we need is just more sales.
And about 5 years ago, that was us.
Guys, and that was us.
Yeah.
And at one point, we got it so wrong that we ended up spending 100 grand before we figured it out. And you know what, that 100 grand, like we worked our butts off for years to build it up in our business. So please don't make the same mistake. Don't make the same mistake. Go for strategy rather than tactics. Do understand that any traffic you're driving from any of those other sources is just borrowed. You're just renting the space. Even if it's organic, you're still renting the space.
So that's 5 years of business reflection in the space of, I don't know how long has it been, 10, 20, 15, 30 minutes? I don't know. But So guys, do let us know where you are in your journey of the business. Are you perhaps at the beginning of the 5 years, or are you well past those 5 years and perhaps there is something you want to share with us? Do let us know. If you have not subscribed yet and you're still watching, what are you doing? Just press the subscribe button. And
do let us know.
If you like this video. It helps us a lot. It helps us understand what you like and also helps us grow our channel. And
serve you better. So with that said, guys, have a good one, and we'll talk to you
see you in the
soon.
next video. Bye for now.